Let's get started, and of course, we'll start from athletics, where two-time governor of Edo State and current senator representing Edo North, Comrade Adam Oshomole, has declared his readiness for the 2026 edition of the Okpekpe International 10-kilometer road race, scheduled for May this year. The man you see on your screen there, Adam Oshomole, who ordinarily is in the Senate now, but still keeps an eye on the Okpekpe race, which was made popular while he was in office.
Yeah, and that tells you that that it's like something that is their own heritage. It's something that have come to stay, and every administration want to know or go on with it. And it's just normal that when you have a top personality like Adam Oshomole, I mean, championing such cause, even many years after he has left office, it tells that, come on, we need to really support this. And he needs to still back. He knows how they all started it. His input is still needed. His effort and strength is still needed. And when people like him champions, he has friends, he has associates, he has colleagues that want to partner, to helping the state, moving higher. So I think that is good that it's coming from him, and very early, so that the organizers can start, thinking alike with the state governor as well as others who have made this possible over the years.
Talking about the Okpekpe race, this is the very first to have been approved, for label being approved in West Africa. And the terrain is hilly and makes it more attractive to even foreign athletes who want to come and get involved in this. What do you make of the peculiarity of the Okpekpe race, first in West Africa to be approved for a race?
Yeah, first, and I think they've also gotten some label. It's when the Okpekpe race started, a lot of people did not really understand what it means, 10-kilometer race and all that. It was like a nascent thought for us today, because of the Okpekpe race. It's a continuous, it's yearly activity. We now have other short marathons. Lagos State came in, Port Harcourt, and other states, even the Abuja Marathon that was held in December. So you see that the sustainability of the race over the years has really given other states hope that, come on, we can have this. And besides, the area of Okpekpe where the race is staged, that has also, broadened the frontier of economic activities. That area now is an economic hub, because people now get to know about the village called Okpekpe because of the race. So I think that that's what sports development implies. When you go to an entire area, make it better. Today, when in terms of Okpekpe, I'm not sure anybody would have known about it if not for the race. So it's good that the government thought it wise to states outside its outskirts of Edo and take it to Okpekpe, and that area now is gradually booming. A lot of foreigners, strangers have really taken their step to also build things for themselves. So for me, generally, I think Okpekpe race is one that cannot be forgotten, because it creates room for other races that we'll talk about today in Nigeria.
Let's quickly go to badminton now, where the president of the Badminton Federation of Nigeria, of course, Francis Obi, has described 2025 as a fairly positive year for the federation, while outlining the ambitious plans of to consolidate recent gains of expand activities across the country. Badminton in recent times, especially last year, had gained grounds here in Nigeria. Note, of course, a lot of people are taking the leadership as the main reason why we're having more of badminton, on showcase this time around, such that they have even attracted some level of sponsorship.
Yes, they have. They have a corporate sponsorship. They signed that memorandum of understanding. That was one of the landmark achievements that they had last year. And then
the first time we're having a sponsor for badminton here in Nigeria.
Yes, formally. But then that anytime they host national championship or continental championship, there used to be sponsorship, although that's for the purpose of the championship. But now that we have it now, now that we have it now for 4 years, it gives them ample opportunity. And don't forget that the Badminton Federation has a very busy calendar, very busy in terms of activities. They're also planning to have a national championship and other, state-like activities. So you see, the sponsorship is needed so that the budgetary allocation to the federation alone may not hold, these activities. So they need an external funds and external support elsewhere. Hence the the desire to look at, okay, what have we done in the last year? What can we do now? Don't forget too, he's now the vice president of badminton in the African Confederation of Badminton, and I think that with this now, it's good to have all of this so that we can have it all going.
In the next few weeks from now, February to be very precise, there will be the African Badminton Championship. What will look like the African competitions in football that is going on here. What are prospects for badminton players from Nigeria in this African tourney?
I think that we see some of the like we have an Oja, or we have what is this guy's name, Anu Oluwapo, doing so well. Even if last year we didn't see much of the activities, we saw more of the physical challenges, the wheelchair activities. We didn't see more of the able-bodied athletes showcasing their skill or going for international tournaments. But I think that with this now, it will be good to start the year with our guys preparing massively. We saw Arno at the Olympics, but didn't get to the level that we desire. So I want to also see Deborah. I want to see some of the big names, in badminton, try their best. In Africa, we used to be number one, except for Egypt, But right now, I think we have declined a little, especially in the doubles. We have not been able to, even in the team sports, we have not been able to do so well as compared to the North Africans. So we need to prepare well. We need to, I'm sure that training should get started. The players should be well conditioned so that they can massively prepare for this particular one.
Well, we say the best should come to the Badminton Federation, because we've seen them, show class, especially last year, and with African tourney coming up in the next few weeks from now, I want to see Nigerian badminton players, really at the top of their sports out there. And quickly, we'll take a look at basketball. The NBA seems to be the only major basketball event that is ongoing right now, April. In early hours of this morning, we still saw some games that were very interesting. What do you make of it? Dallas Mavericks didn't do well playing at home. They allowed Sacramento Kings to, take the shine off them, 97-86. This looks like a game that didn't hit the 100 marks for either side.
Yeah, and sometimes too, because of the nature of the way the games are played on a daily basis, it can be difficult. The players' fatigue just naturally set in, and so I'm not surprised at all. But then you expect that the players try their best to see how far they can go on and on to getting this particular one. Unfortunately, sometimes you just have to put those little magic, to get those wins. What matters is all the win, and then you're able to achieve it.
Cleveland Cavaliers were in the excellent form in the early hours of this morning, 136 points as compared to Raptors 114 points.
Well, Cavaliers, they are doing so well for themselves. I mean, if you look at though the point margin does not really, it tells that it was a very cagey encounter in that particular one. They started very poorly. They posted 22 points as against 28 points of the Pacers. But at the end of the day, they showed class. They had a very good score in the last quarter, 36-23, and that made it very possible for them to get that particular win.
The Magicians from Orlando lost at home. Of course, the Wizards beat them 120 points to 112 points. What could have been happening here? The Orlando Magic team doesn't seem to have a good season.
For Orlando Magic, is for them, it's not been an easy one for them at all, especially when you look at the fact that some of the, a lot transpired over the trade periods where some of the players left and the new ones are still trying to gel. Unfortunately, time waits for nobody. So it looks as though they are not doing so well, but I think they are. The only thing is that they lose games when you least expect, especially in the third quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and that's exactly what transpired in this particular one. They played against the Wizards. They had a very good time, 30-29 in the first quarter, but the second quarter and third quarter were the greatest on doing. Unfortunately, that also affected them.
The heat in Miami wasn't hot enough because Timberwolves beat them by 122 as compared to just 88 points scored by the home side. For Heat, I mean, it's not been an easy one at all. They've been having solitary wins, and when you have solitary wins, it can be very difficult, especially when you play. The style of play have not really been so inspiring to see that they were going to go three games unbeaten.
and I begin to wonder what is the problem. But I just hope that they start picking maximum point. They have really been struggling, in recent time. I want to see the Heat go 2-3 games picking points, but that has not been done.
Well, we see something coming from LA. The Lakers themselves, they were in excellent form in the early hours of this morning. 111 points just scored against the Pelican Stars, who had just 104 points.
For the Lakers, I think that the new year
bouncing back.
Yeah, bouncing back gradually. The new year has really been a good time for them. They've won. If you look at their point margin now, even if I still think that a lot is needed, but obviously when you play against the Lakers look like the whipping boys as it stands now. They've won just 8 games out of 10, and they've won 8 games and they've lost 30. So anybody who plays against them, think we always have the desire to win something. And I think that for the Lakers now, this win against Pelicans is their 23rd win. They've lost 11 so far. So I wish that the guys will continue.
Well, away from basketball now, we'll have to wrap up this half of the show with a story coming from the world of boxing, where Nigerian boxing sensation Elizabeth Oshoba has entered 2026 as the world's 4th-ranked super lightweight boxer, claiming 1 spot in the BoxRec's latest ranking. The 26-year-old Nigerian, who won silver at the World Boxing Council featherweight championship, now sits behind United States of America Alicia Bogana and of course Belgian Devin Person. This is good news for Nigeria. At least the unbeaten boxer, who maintains a perfect professional record of 9 wins and 5 knockouts, has expressed very good confidence in the ability to climb further in the year 2026.
No, I'm really very happy for
Oshoba.
Elizabeth. Elizabeth has really shown strength. Last year she was unbeaten. She won a lot of laurels. She's a Commonwealth, medalist, and you look at the way she has gradually,
first female boxer from Nigeria to win a world title.
It's something that we should cheer up. And I think she has been very consistent too. That's one thing about her that I so much appreciate. The fact that she can, hold her own at that top level, is something for me that gladdens me, because when you look at the big names in boxing in female, and ask yourself, do we have? Well, I think when you look back to see what she's doing, you can just be very happy that we have a boxer in Elizabeth Oshoba.
Elizabeth Oshoba, who's the International Boxing Organization female super featherweight, title. She won that one via unanimous point decision against Italian Martina Righi way back in 2023 and continues to remain undefeated. Meanwhile, former heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua is seriously considering retirement from the sport of boxing. This is coming from Ademola Joshua, the uncle to the 36-year-old Nigerian-British boxer. I think this is a little bit of pressure coming from the accident or the car crash that happened a few days ago.
Yeah, and anything that concerns Joshua these days, you will not you look at it from the point of emotion. And it's kind of difficult because when you lose 2 best of your friend, he could have been, the unfortunate one in that accident. He survived just by God's grace, So I think that if he's considering retirement, I've heard about it recently, but then you look at it at his age. If he says he wants to retire, you will not argue it. But then he still have a lot, if he wants to really go far. I wish that he can have a belt before he even retired. That would have made more sense. But that was a deep one, losing 2 of his best friends, on the Christmas or the New Year period. It doesn't good at all. I just feel that this is speaking from emotion. As time progresses, we'll know the true state of his decisions.
Anthony Joshua's retirement from boxing is not confirmed. We can tell you he has to soak in the burial plans and thereafter maybe come up with it. But he's 2-time world heavyweight champion. He only trying to come back after about 15 months of absence before this car crash, aftermath of his winning Jake Paul just a few days before the accident. We just hope that Anthony Joshua will take a decision that will be good for himself, his family, and of course the boxing fans around the world. We'll take a break now. We'll return from the break. There's more to come, especially in tennis, where the Australian Open is almost here, and we'll take a look at how prepared it is with a whooping prize money on showcase at Melbourne. And in football, quarterfinalists for this year's African Cup of Nations have all been named. Super Eagles of Nigeria, of course, you know, are among the 8 teams that will seek qualification for the semi-final stage of the competition. Across to Europe, it is now known that Chelsea has a new manager. We'll give you details and profile of the manager when we return from the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. It's Spors Talk here on Atlantic Television Network, and we told you how Badminton Federation are gearing up for African Badminton Championship coming up in February this year. And now let's look at some other sports stories, especially in tennis, where the first Grand Slam of the year is almost with us. April, the Australian Grand Slam is here, and a lot of tennis players haven't rested most of the last end of the year, are back to compete for one of the greatest sports in tennis. £55 million is at stake. £55
million is at stake, yes. 19 increase from what we saw last year. But then players are not contented with that. They felt that they should have added, when you have 111.5 million, pounds, US dollars. So that money should have been well divided. That's what the players are claiming or clamoring for. So I think that yes, why it is bigger than also at the Wimbledon, yes, it's a big purse, but then it's not as big as compared to what the players should have received. So the players are saying no, we would have increased it 19%, fine and good, but then it does not reflect what we should share, from the purse. So the players are saying something should be done, but then you see that a lot is desired. The players feel that more is needed. If the organizers can get some huge chunk of that money, then more should be given to us. But you know how the players act. I just hope that some of these things will nip to the board before the start of the Australian Open come 18th of this month.
Talking about players' agitation for more money, we know of the breakaway group led by Novak Djokovic, but only recently Djokovic has distanced himself as well from that effort.
Yeah, Djokovic, sometime last year he came out to express that he's not, he will not fight, some of the internal issues, especially when they accuse the ATP and WTA of, not carrying out, they're not focusing on the welfare.
Supporting the players.
Supporting the players, the welfare of players, So sometimes, he indicated he came out to really not siding that particular one. So I'm not surprised that he decided to pull out completely. But when he started this, most of the decisions were there. He stood firmly, but it does tell that a lot would have been going. Maybe the vision that they had when they started that, when they formed it, it's no longer what he's thinking, and he decided to pull out. So, but it's part of what I'm saying. Players' welfare must be looked into. If you have 111 point something million US dollars, pool, then the players should get a big chunk because they claim that they are the reason why this competition is being staged.
Australia Open, the first Grand Slam in tennis, gets underway in just about 11 days from now, and the top players around the world are expected to be on showcase in this event. And in the days ahead, we'll keep the profile and see. But like we've heard there, money is a major factor to be considered ahead of this championship. Players are demanding more money from the organizers of the Grand Slams. In the past, they've had successes. Let's see how much money they will get this time around. Meanwhile, talking about tennis, the novelty mixed sexes game has ended with Aryna Sabalenka defending a title. She took out her male counterpart Nick Kyrgios in just about 47 minutes. How did that one go? It looks, everybody thought that Nick Kyrgios was going to do it, but there was a female world number one that won that battle of the sexes.
On the contrary, it was Nick Kyrgios who won that one. I think it's 6-love, 6-1. But then, that in preparation for the Australian Open, world number one started the game yesterday against Serena Brewster, and she was able to win that particular game in preparation for the Australian Open. Now, the thing is, a lot of people felt that, come on, the Battle of the Sexes originally that was started some time ago at Billie Jean, in 1973, it is no longer, the essence is about social change and to push the fight for women on all that. But some of the stars are really criticizing that what they saw against the build up to this last one that they saw between Aryna Sabalenka and Kyrgios is not what they desire. But that obviously a lot of people will always say, a lot of people have criticized it. Some have also felt that, come on, it brings the both parties together. There's equal gender when it comes to tennis activities. For me, I do not say anything bad in that. Aryna Sabalenka came out yesterday to also debunk it, to say, come on, it's just one of those things that an exhibition to show that they can fight together. So I just keep my finger crossed, but then all is geared towards the preparation for the big one this month.
Well, no doubt about it. From what we've seen there, Nick Kyrgios is not a top male tennis player, yet taking out the world number one in the female tennis there. So it shows that there's a little bit of superiority amongst the male side in tennis as compared to the female. But that's what it is. Like we heard, it is an exhibition match, and that's all that it is. Aim at projecting the females in the game of tennis. Now let's go to football now. Anepo, it looks like the break is all over, both in for the Premier League football here in Nigeria. The male Premier League will get on their way, same as the women football league, after 2 weeks of festivities.
No doubt. And today, across various centers, we're going to see games, live. The female scene I'm sure they've really enjoyed the Yuletide period, the New Year, all of these come together to really give them a very strong start. So I just expect to see a blockbuster show, across those centers. For Rivers Angels, maybe we'll get to see more of it. But then, it's lovely to get to see how the women will play.
Well, Rivers Angels, one of course, top female teams here in Nigeria. They've shown in the past, yes, that they can get it. But today, they are in Adamawa against the Queens from Adamawa, and that's an away fixture. We understand 4 of their players are in the national camp. Will this affect the results coming from Adamawa later today?
I don't think so. Adamawa Queens, they are not the best of side when it comes to standing against Rivers Angels. So I think that Rivers Angels will have a way to also pull those magic.
In other fixtures, Akwa Ibom Angels are home to Bayelsa Queens. That looks like a derby encounter from the south-south. Ekiti Queens are up against Niger Rattles. Niger Rattles, one of the top female sides here in Nigeria. Meanwhile, Pacesetters Queens are up against Harlan Queens of Owerri. Meanwhile, Confluence Queens from Lokoja will take on the Shoe Babes in yet another fixture. Delta Queens are home to Danas Ladies, while Remo Star Ladies will host Nasarawa United, Nasarawa Masons in the other fixture there. FC Robo Queens are home, while Adihirham Queens from up there. We understand as well, Abia Angels will be at home against Sunshine Queens. All these fixtures are spread across week 5 after the festivities of Christmas. Talking about the male, matches are coming up this weekend as well.
Yes, matches are coming up this weekend and tough games to watch out for. I think this notion of the big game, I expect
Rangers,
to see Rangers vs United. And
that's
that
a
game,
big fixture.
a very big one, because a lot of us want to see what will transpire after we saw what played out in the first game.
Meanwhile, talking about male football, Premier League football, it looks like there are changes across in Plateau United. Benga Ogumbote has been confirmed as the head coach of the side.
Yes, he took over from Coach Shola, but he has not been working since the start of the season because of his exit from 3SC. And I think that this is long overdue. Let's get to see what he has to offer now for the guys from Jos.
Meanwhile, we can go quickly now to the African Cup of Nations, where the quarterfinalists have all emerged. Let's look at one of the features for last night, April. Congo DR.
Yeah, Congo DR lost to Algeria. Very just 2 minutes remaining in that encounter. I felt pain because you know how those guys play. They drag you to penalty. They've already started preparing the second goalkeeper, to come up just the way they did against Nigeria. Unfortunately, that guy, what was his name, struck so hard, and it was a beautiful goal. That goal should stand as one of the goals of the tournament, And that single goal alone was enough to pull Algeria to the next level, which is fantastic. But Congo DR did everything possible. They were very physical. Mayele was in boss. Kakuta.
Extra time goal.
Extra time goal. I mean, it can be very painful. Just like we saw, against was it Egypt too. So I mean, it's you just have to be focused. I think they lost concentration at the later stage of the competition.
Talking about Algeria taking out the counterparts from Congo DR, and now Algeria, the Desert Warriors, are up against the Super Eagles of Nigeria in the next couple of days at the quarter-final stage of the competition. The Foxes from Algeria, do you see them maybe truncating the excellent run of the Super Eagles so far?
They both have been in formidable form. They top their group, and anytime Algeria top their group, the history has it that they used to go all the way to win the African Cup of Nations. Will they go this time around? It will be very tricky because their biggest rival is before them. And if we go by head-to-head, they've not been very fantastic against Super Eagles. So you see a lot to be at stake. Super Eagles, the way they're going about it, they look like a team that are on fire. And if you must stop them, then you need to be at a very tough level. I think that Congo made it very difficult for them to struggle. They struggled yesterday against the DR Congo. This is not the same team that have been bashing team 3-0, 2-1, just like that in the group stages. But against Super Eagles, it will be a very more clinical game. Let's get to see how far they will come up in this particular one.
First, a lot of features on the quarterfinal stage of this year's Cup of Nations. Last night as well, we saw Ivory Coast defending champions Pumel, their counterparts from Burkina Faso. What a match. 3-0 ended, and fantastic goals if you ask me.
I think that Burkina Faso, the Stallions didn't live up to expectation. I was really disappointed how they play. You know, I felt that they should have done better. It's not the same. We saw that KG encounter between DR Congo. I also wanted a mouth-watering encounter, but that never came to be.
Well, like I said, the pairings are all here. Nigeria versus Algeria. Another blockbuster quarterfinal this year's African Cup of Nations will be fixture in first a match between home side Morocco against the indomitable Lions of Cameroon. Senegal will take on Mali, while Egypt will take on Ivory Coast. What a blockbuster fixture, if you ask me. Egbo, these 8 teams all deserve to be at the quarterfinals, you think?
Yes, they all deserve to be, and I think that it is just normal to say at this point that, except Mali, any of the teams here can be the champions in Africa, because when you look at the way they played from the group stages, you just know that there's no time to joke this time around. I hopefully expect that we will get to see more of these actions going forward.
The Super Eagles of Nigeria, aftermath of that quarterfinal round of 16 fixture, had issues. Remember, Victor Osimhen and Ademola Lookman altercation. It looks like all is now calm. Osimhen, after all, did not leave the camp. And Ademola Lookman says Osimhen is his big brother, and all is well. All that matters is the maximum points win for Super Eagles of Nigeria. Is all well in the camp of the Super Eagles ahead of this quarterfinal clash?
Yes, all is well. All is well. Even if we from the outside want to get to know what is happening more there, I think with the talks around, I'm sure that a lot of work is really going on behind the scene. So I want to believe on the surface, as I've said, that all is well. And I don't think that such will repeat itself, no matter how we look at it. And I'm sure that some of the big guys are already talking to the players in the camp. Those players they respect, the legends that they respect, I'm sure that they're doing that. I'm also sure that the board, NFF, they are going to do a lot of work to ensure that tempers are not flared and everybody's on the same page, Mr. Siri.
Well, the Super Eagles of Nigeria's excellent run seem to have been tainted by that open display by very anger troubled Victor Osimhen. A lot of football fans across the world are not happy with it. We hope that he will take his anger into consideration. But meanwhile, the team is leaving first. They are moving to Marrakesh, for that fixture that comes out at 5 p.m. Nigerian time. Meanwhile, we'll keep you posted on all of it. These fixtures are coming up, quarterfinal fixtures are coming up in the next 48 hours.
And that's for as I'm going to see how far. I can't wait because, especially that of Nigeria, we just want to see how it will go. But I tell you, any team at this level, this is the first time we're getting to see there is no surprise at all. No minnows, staging the big guys. So we get to see how far all the teams will show their strength in the quarterfinals, and that is where we'll start thinking of permutating on teams that possibly might get to win the 35th installment of the African Cup of Nations.
Figures across, most matches coming up on Sunday ahead of the semi-final clash as well. But the Nations Cup, April, for me, has been excellent in terms of facilities on showcase. The turf at all the centers have been superb, in my own words. Yeah,
it has been from Marrakesh down to Fez. We've seen a lot. Rabat.
The quality of the pitch is
beautiful, beautiful. You need to see the drone shot. I took my time yesterday to look at the drone shot of the stadium, and that tells me that, come on, these guys are prepared. What we saw there is something that is a world class. It's capable of hosting the World Cup, because some of the stadiums are not fit to use Brim, yes, because of the games. But you get to see Moroccans coming out to watch games late at night. And I must also give it to the CAF president, who have been very consistent watching those games too, especially the evening games. And so in terms of organization, what we are just seeing is a glimpse to the world to say, come on, Morocco, they have what it takes to host the world. And I'm very happy that this is a country from the African continent.
Are you among those who believe that the Super Eagles of Nigeria have played so well in this tournament because of the pitch?
Yes, I think so. I think so. You not compare the way they played in Cameroon and this one. Ivory Coast also had a very lovely pitch, I must confess. When they played last time, they hosted. And but this is just like what they get to play in Europe. The pitch has really aided the way they play, and I think that they can only get better. Especially when I want to say they will play fiercely against another North African side, just the way they played against Tunisia. So maybe that will not tell better, but in terms of the pitch, it has really aided their style of play.
Well, across to Europe now and the Premiership in England to be specific, there is a new manager for Chelsea Football Club of England. He is no other than Liam Rossonio, the coach of Strasbourg in the French league. A lot of people are asking, who is Liam Rossonio? Epo, from my little knowledge of him, he was a former coach of Hull City, former coach of Derby County in the Championship in England. He moved to France a couple of years ago, and I think about 3 years ago or so, and he's coached Strasbourg FC of France. Presently, Strasbourg is stocked around the 7th position in the French league. But his last 5 games coming to England has ended in a draw. He's not won any game coming from the French league. In his last 5 games, he didn't win any. And a lot of people are saying Chelsea demands a top-class coach than a man who has not won his last 5 games. He doesn't have any, pedigree in quality competition. This is going to Chelsea, where they are world champions, they have Champions League winners and Premier League winners. You need a top-class coach. But who says that he will not maybe be Mikel Arteta we've seen in Arsenal?
Yeah, I agree. Enzo Maresca wasn't a top-class coach. He just qualified a team from the Championship, and he was made Chelsea's manager. So
and he won a
World Cup. And he won the FIFA Club World Cup. So I think that for Chelsea, the system that works for them is such that if the man, takes the opportunity as one that he can rebuild on and make things happen. I don't want to judge him from Strasbourg. If you judge him from the point of Strasbourg, you see that he has not done so well, but he has really changed Strasbourg to being a competitive team now. And he has also pushed them to European qualification. That's fantastic for me. If at 41, he's still a young lad, he's still a young man, and I think that the onus is on him now to change the narrative. For the man at the helm of affairs of Chelsea, what he's trying to do is to see how far he can run a system other than what we know Abramovich for. And I think that Chelsea will just have to queue in and see what they can do with this one. For me, a lot. The English Premier League can be very, very unpredictable. You need to be a steadfast manager. You need to be a dynamic manager for you to cope with the league.
A lot of people believe he's a yes man. Yes, as in agreeing with anything the board says. Maresca, we understand, was fired because he didn't toe the line of the board. But increasingly, it looks like those who, pay, dictate the tune.
Obviously, they pay, they detect the tune. There's a limit to which they can back you, and they can only back you when you are aligning with their vision. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how far. Check out last season and check out this season. Maresca has been very, very open-minded a little this season as compared to last season, and that has also given him the sack way. If he had been a little bit conservative in his manner of approach, in his reaction against the board, I'm sure that maybe we'll still have to get to see him there, because there were times last season when he were not doing so well and the board stood behind him. Same for Ruben Amorim. So I think that yes, Rossonio is a board man because he believes in the board, but then the pressure from the English Premier League can change the narrative. So for me, I just want to see how it goes. If he gets to win more games and things start changing, we get to see his reaction too. And I just want to believe that the board knows better, and that Chelsea, they have a vision and they want to achieve something. Let's see if Rossonio will be the man to lead them to that level. Are
you a Chelsea fan tonight at Fulham? There will be a fixture in the Premier League, Fulham versus Chelsea. Let's see whether the man will be on the bench. They haven't signed a 5.5-year contract, and he's been given a long-time contract. Do you think that is a guarantee that he will be in Chelsea no matter the result he gets?
I know it's not a guarantee. We've seen a lot of coaches giving contract, and if you don't deliver, you are out. You are kicked out. It doesn't matter. A severance payment is already waiting for you. At the back of those contracts, they already know that they can pay off severance. They weigh the options, which is more heavier, the cost, the consequence, and it doesn't matter. They pay the loss. In fact, Chelsea are known for payment of severance fee to managers because they don't keep to contract.
Newcastle will be up against their counterparts from Leeds tonight. That match comes on at about, I think, 9 p.m. Nigerian time. Meanwhile, in the other fixture in the Premiership coming up later tonight, there will be Brentford versus Sunderland. Bournemouth, yes, they are up against Tottenham Hotspur in another cracker of a fixture. Crystal Palace will take on Aston Villa, and that is another match you must watch. Everton take on Wolves, and Manchester City versus Brighton. Manchester City, they're not having good times, if you ask me, dropping 4 points in their last 2 games. And do you think they can make up against Brighton? Brighton, one of the boogie teams in the Premier League.
It will be very sketchy. The more points you lose, the more fear factor that drops in front of the opponent, and that's an advantage for Brighton. So I think if Sunderland and other teams can pick those 1 point, Brighton will tell themselves, come on, we too, we can outrightly win you. So I think that Manchester City also, now that they've signed Semenyo, I'm sure that in the next couple of days that deal will be done by the America. A lot of motivations will come in, and I just hope that the guys will live up to expectations soon too.
Does he have a chance of being part of the team tonight?
I don't think so, because medical is yet to be confirmed. Until that is done, I don't think he will be in the colours of, especially for tonight. Manchester
United has a new coach, Darren Fleischer, and he will be in charge of proceedings later tonight. Burnley versus Manchester United. Darren Fleischer, is it interim or?
I think it's interim. It's interim, and it's not just to guide the team for now. You know, the Manchester United team runs, the board runs in a very rigid format. So I don't think that we've seen interim. It can even be interim. It depends on the result that comes out from him. But it's been part of the setup for a very long time, so he understands the team better.
Darren Fleischer understands the team, and he is part of the team structure, so you should know how to tinker it, tonight. But it's an away fixture. Burnley, one of the teams that are scheduled to return back to where they came from.
Yes, for Burnley, I mean, they have not been very good, especially even at Toughmore. They've had a very poor season so far, and I think that the earlier they start picking points, better for them. Otherwise, relegation becomes our calling.
That will be it for this edition of Sports Talk. We'll be back at 6 p.m. Nigerian time when we'll take in-depth look at reaction from the camp of all the quarterfinalists at this year's African Cup of Nations. Yes, the Super Eagles of Nigeria. We'll take a look at some of the players that will not be on fixture, playing for the side at the fixture. And of course, we'll look at the level of motivation that has been given to the team. Last match, they earned 2 billion naira. How much money will the Super Eagles get if they win their quarterfinal fixture? And of course, across to the other teams as well, we'll give you insight of what is happening to the other 7 teams that have qualified for the quarterfinal single competition. Until then, remember, peace and unity are clearly pathways to progress. Always enjoy here on Atlantic Television Network.